Thank you, everyone, for joining us, even from games and work events and everything. Latrina and I have had a long, busy day ourselves, and so we're right there with you. And I really appreciate you taking the time to meet. And we haven't seen everyone for a couple months, so it's nice to see you. And those of you who can't come and are watching, we appreciate also your time and being willing to be on our Scholar Alum Advisory Board. It's really such a great thing we have going here. And I just got off the call with a bunch of scholars, and they just amaze me. It was just such a wonderful call. So please know that your time and Suzette is a current scholar, so just know that your time also is like so valuable for how hard everyone's working. Latrina and I have a couple things to talk about, but before we get started, did anyone have any like pressing questions or thoughts or anything that you would like to ask or talk about? Okay. And I apologize that I did not send an agenda this time. I know the last two times I did, and I don't know if any of you are aware, but our application for next year was due Friday. So Latrina and I have our heads have been spinning. I mean, I just have forgotten to do so many other things other than that main big important thing. So forgive me too for not giving you a lot of reminders about this or sending an agenda. I will say that the three main things that Latrina and I wanted to talk to about this evening are the application. So, possibly volunteering with us if you have time to be an application reader, uh, possibly being a guest on scholar support hours, and some travel opportunities that we're thinking about for all of us. And Latanya says, I have to work online. At 7:30. Okay, that's fine. Tanya, good to know. Thank you. So those are the three main things I have, Latrina. Is that kind of what you had?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was going to, I wanted to pull together what we had been able to do as it related to the Star Party and just your gifting. So I promise you, I have totally not forgotten about that, but I know we talked about it. So I do want to pull those donations so I can actually give you a figure as to what we were able to do. And I'm telling you, I'm still stuck on that $5 campaign. It's just a matter of me getting it organized because I think it can certainly have a huge impact as to how we can be able to support and come up with a scholar grant or scholar grants for our scholars for the year. You all know Suzette is in it right now, and Margaret's a current scholar, right? So, I mean, Suzette and Margaret, of course, know right now. And Tamara, you did finish. Latanya, you still in? You still in, right? But anywho,
master's program.
Okay, yeah. But I'm saying, so the importance of having funds to be able to support individuals, and of course ours is unrestricted so that it gives the scholars liberty to utilize those funds as they see fit. So I really want to make sure we keep that before us, and just ensuring that we are taking the opportunities to be able to share with individuals that we come into contact with. I mean, who knows, you may be talking to a millionaire, you know what I'm saying, that is looking to give funds over to a foundation that is doing amazing work. And how would you know if they even have an interest in any philanthropic efforts if you're not, sharing who it is that you're connected to? And be proud that you serve on the advisory board for the Jeanette Rankin Foundation. That's that's great. I'm telling you, because we have national reach, and we're touching the lives of so many by way of our scholar grant. So that being said, just keep that in the forefront of your head, and I will pull those numbers so that I can ensure that you are in the know for us. I I don't know. I know we mentioned it, Breezy. I don't know if this is our last call, but maybe that meeting before that, we talked about individuals who were able to go ahead and get set up on like a monthly recurring as a recurring donor. Again, if it's $5, I don't care if it's a dollar. I mean, it's just the fact that you care enough about the foundation to be able to do something. And I mean, if you can't do recurring, that's fine. Just commit to doing something. So I really want to challenge each of us, on the call. If you can't, forego a cup of Starbucks, on, how we have to have our Starbucks or whatever your choice of beverage is. It may not be Starbucks, it may be Scott, whatever. I don't know what you drink. Y'all know I like to laugh. So whatever it is, just being willing to, hand that over to be able to support a scholar. Okay, so I'm off my soapbox now about that, but it's certainly very important and I want to keep it before you. So another way that is not connected necessarily to finances is, of course, you being able to volunteer with us as an application reviewer. We're in that like right now. Suzette and Margaret, I don't want you to do it. And Latanya, if you don't have time, please don't overwhelm yourself to do it because I'm so for your focus on your education. Okay. Tamara has certainly done it with us. Cheryl, have you read for us? You've read for us in the past. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so we're gonna have Cheryl on board. I'm speaking it. That's what you call being voluntold to put it out there. So what's involved? Let me give you really quickly. I'm gonna Breezy, do you have the or maybe that form just on the website where you can go and grab the form where they can click in the website
Yeah,
on the volunteer. So if you can
I'll,
drop that
I'll
in
find it
there.
right now. Yep.
Hopefully, you all should have received the recruitment. It was called like a volunteer recruitment email where you could have signed up. I don't know that I saw anybody's name, but definitely drop that in the chat for Tamara. You should have received one because you were a former volunteer reader, and so you should already be in there. What's involved? On March the 3rd, which is a Sunday afternoon, evening, we at 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. Eastern, we will have a live training. I'll have two of them. The first one is March 3rd at 5 p.m. The second one is March 5th at 7 p.m. It's the evening. It's on a Tuesday. So you will have to attend. I say an hour and a half. It just depends on how many questions. Sometimes we can knock it out in an hour, 10, 15 minutes. It just depends on how many questions that come along with that training. So I do live training because I think it's visual, it's fun, it's engaging. I like to have you actually review an app while you're on with me. So you really get immersed into the process during the training. So it's not you're sitting on there and I'm just want. No. We're having fun. We're going through an application. I'm answering your questions on the fly. Breezy is normally womaning the chat section and making sure all of your questions are answered. So I try and keep it really high and upbeat. So I promise you I won't put you to sleep. The time commitment there is after you finish the training with us, that online training, you do like a quick assessment. That's just to make sure that you weren't just sitting over there playing games while we were on the training. And we take this seriously, we really do. You're helping us select scholars for the year. So I do hope that you would take your assignment as a volunteer reader very serious because these are now scholars who we'll award funds to. So after that, the timing for application reading at level 1, anybody that's coming in for the first time, that time frame is March let me look at the date so I can make sure I give you the right dates. It takes place from March the 11th through March 29th. So you have about 3 weeks to read anywhere. I don't think I'm going more than, to be honest with you, more than 15 is max, but I don't think you'll have 15 applications and it's doable to be able to read. I'm going to be honest with you, time commitment, if I had to give you an average, on average, they say about 6 hours that they committed to over the course of, 3 weeks. So you're talking about 2 hours a week. And to be honest with you, it could be less than that. It just depends on you as a reader, and if you like to go back and reread again. So of course that can extend your time. But I
Mhm.
will say it can be very emotional because the stories are real, but it's also very rewarding to be able to see the individuals that share their stories with us and go from there. Yes, Cheryl, we can certainly email that over to you. Matter of fact, when we get off Breezy, when you share the recording, share go ahead and share that that recruitment flyer, because that way that link is live in there. But again, I'm telling you, it's so very rewarding. Breezy has read for what, 3 years now, Breezy? Is this going into year?
I started reading right after I graduated with my bachelor's, like right when I became an alum in 2020. So yeah, this will be the fourth year.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so again, Breezy can just kind of give you commentary, but I think it's a great thing to have our alums that are able to come back and give back by way of reading those apps. And you get to see the other end of it, the other side of what you went through in order to be able to be selected for the Scholar Grant. So please, just take the time to think about if you'll do it. And I do hope that you will join us this year as an application reader. And I will warn you now, once you come in, we don't let you go. So that means you'll be reading until you
Mhm.
just go and win $1 bazillion, but then you're going to give us half of that, and then you have the right to go. Then I'm being silly, but yeah. So yeah,
It is.
it's
It's
just
so
really
fulfilling, and I feel too like, just the fact that you can just like do it from home, like anywhere. You could read like one application on a Sunday morning while you have your coffee, and then, Tuesday after work you could read one. Like it's really kind of easy going, and the rubric is really clear, which makes it, I don't know about easy, but it's hard sometimes because all these stories are so beautiful. You just like want to give everyone all the money. But it's also, I feel like, especially for those of us who have graduated and now have like good jobs and stuff, it's such a good like reminder of where we were at, just not too long ago, that it's like it's very meaningful to me when to see, these women just kind of starting, or just kind of starting their plan. It's really cool.
yeah. And I think it's important that I like to say, even as a scholar or applicant at this point, that they don't even know it, but they already have some sisters fighting on their behalf to,
Yeah.
get them a scholar grant. So that's just how I look at it. And we have a unique connection to them, being that we have lived experience and we understand that the struggle was real and it's still real, for some, as you're still continuing to complete your education. And so those stories can hit us a little deeper and sometimes a little harder, because we do it make us go back down memory lane, if just remembering from the path that we've been able to chart and now that we're at. So anywho, so I hope that's been enough to sell you to sign up tonight. I would appreciate that so very, so very much. Yeah. So let's just do it. Let's make it happen. And then, of course, your name get blasted all over because we share out the volunteer readers. You're in our annual report. How cool is that? You get, share it in our annual report for being a volunteer, and on the advisory board now, because I'm sure we'll have that in there as well. So cool, cool, cool. All right. Breezy, you want to talk about scholar support, and then we can talk about traveling.
Yeah. I was just thinking one more thing about the reoccurring donate your $5 idea. It just popped in my mind. I wonder if we could make, how like when people when we raise funds and we have the like peer-to-peer
Mhm.
pages, I wonder if we could just make like an alum page, and like we could all sign up together and see that total increasing or something. I don't know. I just thought of that. That might be kind of cool.
So I need to ask. So it's called like well, Cheryl knows because Cheryl did a campaign this
Mhm.
year, Breezy, as we did with the Star
Mhm.
Party.
Yeah.
So I'll see what we need to do. Let me put this down. Give me a little grace here, because I told you we're just closing out this application cycle, and whoo, it's been a rough one.
I was just
But
thinking that might be kind of fun, like if we all did it like together, and then because I feel like we could, inspire some of our sisters who are alums also then. Like if we're doing this together. Because I always feel like that, like when people ask for money, like I just donated to something in this my town the other day that I love because they were saying like this many $15 will give us, you know, the amount we need for this. And I was like, okay, I can spare $15 once. Right. And you know,
Yeah,
so I like that idea of like little amounts, how to see them come together, you know, to make something big and amazing. I think that's
yeah.
inspiring.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah.
I'll get with Sheila. Well, I guess I
Oh,
need to see what that means for us on the on through Network for Good to just make sure we can get it set up now since we're currently not. I mean, we're in the Great Force campaign, but I just, just need to figure out
yeah.
logistics. But
Okay.
that way we can, if you remember Cheryl, and I know those others, everybody else during the Star Party, there was like I guess a little gauge that you could see it build. So I want to try and get it set up like that so
That'd be cool.
you can see it continuing to grow each time somebody gives. So let me do my due diligence there. Thank you, Breezy, for bringing that suggestion forward. And please, if anybody else have any suggestions like that, that's what we want to do. We want to bounce off one another. And I'm the one to ask. Even if we can't do it, I'm going to ask anyway. So and then I'll bring it back. And so maybe not that, but I do foresee we can do that. But if say for instance we run up against a brick wall, we'll figure out something else. So we're going to make it happen. It's just a matter of how we'll be able to make it happen and make sure we can bring everybody in and keep everybody in the know. I think that would be good as well. And a visual is always an encourager and
Yeah.
even a competition meter. Because when you see it, it can make you, okay, all right, I didn't give this month or whatever the case may be. So great idea. And I'll keep you posted about that. Any other thoughts with anybody else? I know y'all have heard us kind of talk about this maybe 3 times now. We didn't really flesh it out. I just kind of threw it at you, I think, maybe that first meeting. But you have any other thoughts or suggestions around it?
Just the amount is low.
You
The
think we
amount
need
that
to
you want to
raise it?
collect from us is low, but I
You
mean,
think we
I
need to
get it,
raise it?
but I mean, if you want to make it not seem like it's real high, but still get a better amount, 12.50 instead of $5, because that still sounds like, oh, 12.50 is not bad. You know what I mean? I just think it's low.
So
If you want to make
12.50.
an impact.
I like that. I like that. How
I
did I
was I
come
wanted
up
I
with
was when you was
12.50?
talking, I was doing I was over here with my calculator and I said technically $20 would be 250. 20 like $21 would be $250 from each one of us. But I said that might be a little $20, people go crazy. A whole $20. So I said half, like if you do 20, if you do like
Yeah.
24, then you divide. Okay. So let's do 12.50 and to help them get there. But I think, you know,
But Breezy, and
$5 is very low.
I,
And
I hear you,
but maybe
Latanya.
maybe the challenge is okay, we're not going to say anything. At the very least get 5, but we're hoping to see 50 and then we might get somewhere in between. Hopefully, if you talk to people like that.
Yeah,
Make it
yeah,
an end target. And you know how like they used to you have that temperature gauge that shows you how close you are to getting to that target.
yeah,
Maybe it's something like that. And you could
yeah.
even do like little, I don't know, this might be going too far, but you could even do like little competitions between graduation years. So like, okay, well, alumni from this year or from this decade maybe have this much, and alumni from this decade have this much. I don't know,
Love it,
something
love it.
like that. That just to throw a little competition in there.
I'm gonna need y'all to start praying right now. So when I take this to the team, they're gonna be like, and I'm gonna be like, Cheryl said, no, I'm not gonna throw you under the bus, Cheryl. But I Breezy knows I'm gonna ask. And so what we were thinking is this. I like it. I like it.
Me
I
too.
again,
I
I
think the
don't
team will love it.
they
Yeah.
will. And now
Yeah.
us getting it set up is going to going to be
Yeah. That'll be interesting.
It'll
it's
be
going
done.
to be
It'll get
a
done.
dynamic, but hey, we don't know what we can't do if we ain't ever asked
Yeah.
and we haven't tried. So let's see what we can make happen. And and get it done. So we're going to get it off and going. It's just a matter of how. And so maybe what I can do and will do once we get feedback as to what we can do is maybe I share that back with everyone. And that way you at least will know what we can do as it relates to being able to get it going, and some type of target or temperature gauge on there so we can continue to see it grow. So I'll keep you posted as to what and how we can make it happen. And even after we get off, if you have any other thoughts or suggestions, please email us and let us know, because as we're working through, and even if we email you, so no, we won't necessarily have a meeting, but make sure you're checking your emails about it. So if we need your feedback about something that's in the works there. So great ideas. Great ideas.
Do you
I appreciate
remember
it.
the walkathons and stuff like that when you were in little school? So not that, but something on that lines so that you can get small amounts, but still people pledge in the same manner. So I'll be thinking.
Okay. And so you said, I don't want to let this conversation go. She said too low. Who else thinks $5 is too low? Or do you think maybe given a range? Because where I'm gonna tell you where I landed on it. I figured $5, and it is low. I agree with you, Latanya, but I thought it'd be like, oh, honey, that ain't nothing. I'm just gonna go ahead and give that 20. That was kind of my reasoning, because I didn't want anybody to feel pressured either. So that's kind of where I was going. So say for instance, if somebody is able, I do believe those that are able to give more will. But in the same token, I didn't want anybody to feel like I can't do that. And so I didn't want to leave anybody feeling that way.
A range could be encouraging.
Okay.
Yeah, I like what
So
Cheryl
what's
said
the
about
range?
Our target is the 20, like you
Okay,
said. The
20.
5 is what you offer, and they but we hoping that they give 10 and 20, 10 and 20.
Okay.
I
I
Tamara?
think I like that. I like that Cheryl had our target is really this amount, but we're gonna say this amount, and if we get a range between that amount, we've hit. If you hit 1250, then you got way more than 5, and you're more than halfway to 20. So
I
that's
was
what I
Gotcha.
said.
thinking about having like that temperature gauge where, hey, our goal is to reach $10,000 just from alumni scholars, and
Yeah.
every $5 counts. And so every
Yeah.
time $5 is sent in, it just keeps going up and up and
You
up.
can see
Gotcha.
you can see the pot rise, or the meter run. Yeah.
Yeah.
Breezy, where are those notes? Because I ran numbers that first meeting, because I had some numbers even with $5. So I'm gonna have to go and grab those notes, because I'm telling you, the $5 was still gonna get us a good amount. Because I did it based off, I want to say 400. Because I think it was 450. That would do one scholar grant. So if we had 450, that would just do the $5. That would cover that, annually. You know what I'm saying? So that was just if you only did $5, I think it was.
Well,
I'll
then
pull those numbers. Go ahead.
if you do that type of wording, it allows those who can only do $5 to feel okay with only doing
Yeah.
$5. But
Yeah, I like
it
that.
opens the door to anybody who's capable of doing more. You just say, hey, if everybody gives $5, this is where we could be. Think about what we could do as in giving back. So it's not necessarily saying, oh, this is the minimum or this is what we want you to give. It's just communicating the data of where we could get.
Yeah. And that's kind
Yeah.
of where I was, that to be honest with you. So we'll play around with wording. We won't share anything out until everybody have had their eyes on it, and we get, kind of get your feedback as you think of how it's reading, because that's what's important. When you see it for the first time, how does it hit you and how does it make you feel? So just know, as soon as we can get it up and going, we just want your feedback. Please provide it to us so that we can hopefully open it up. And to be honest with you, that'll put us really ahead of the game come Star Party. So I won't be sending it out once we come up on Star Party. So we'll be ahead of everybody else, and they'll be hating on them, the advisory board. for blowing it out the water. So I'm excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I'm excited too. And just to reiterate too, for for Suzette and Meg especially, that this is not about, we're never asking current scholars to give money, just so you know.
Never.
We go on and on about this, but this is only for those of us who have graduated.
Yeah.
Great, because the dentist just told me that I've got to buy a tooth and it's $3,000.
Yeah. Listen.
Oh
Dentist
man, teeth
food.
stuff is rough.
It is.
Yeah. Good
Yeah,
conversation, though.
I had teeth removed in December, and I still don't have my bottom lip, my chin, or 3 teeth filling. I can't feel them at all. So
Oh wow.
pray over your teeth before you let them take them, because I was like, you killed the nerve, because it has to be dead, because I can't feel my lip, my
Oh
chin,
wow.
or 3 teeth.
Yeah, well, that's what
Latanya.
she was saying too. She's like, well, we can pull it and I'll just put a flipper in. And this is my front tooth. I said, no, 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 no. I said, you're not putting any kind of flipper.
My
I said,
front
I'm a
tooth?
public person. You're not. No, I said, no. I said, we're not doing that. That's what we're not doing.
Wow. Wow.
A flipper
Latanya,
in my tooth.
Latanya, you got any parting words for us? Because then you say you had to be on at 7:30.
Yes.
We don't
No,
want you to be late.
send me the information. That's all.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Have a
Good
great
night,
evening.
ladies.
Thank you for jumping on with us. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thanks. Have good work time.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So good conversation around that. Ladies, I love it. I love it. All right. But again, if you got anything else that comes up, just don't hesitate to email your thoughts and suggestions over to us. And I will circle back with you as soon as we have a plan in place and wording and all of that good stuff. So be on the lookout for that. Please give me until after I get these volunteers going, which is that after that first week, which is the 5th, is my second training. So once I get them going, I'm good. So I can then definitely focus. So maybe give me to mid-March to be able to get that, to get the feedback. And it may take that long for us to figure out what we can do.
Maybe there could just even just be something throughout the year, like from, the holidays, scholar friend giving, to Galentine's giving, just throughout
Yeah.
the year, there's many fundraisers or many broadcast, maybe emails that are sent out that just, really or asking for, donations, like a lot of nonprofits tend to do, that. But maybe, like just from Valentine's to Women's Empowerment, Women's Month, just different, I don't know, different things
Yeah.
based upon different
Yeah.
things related to women.
And that's what we do with our donors. Like we have
Okay.
a great cycle with our donors. But we just haven't done it with alums yet. And I think that is like what we want. So that's a great idea, because we could take some of that model we use with our donors and just kind of bring, like, we just want to make it more like personal, like personal connection. And we know, it's not a lot of us, it's like we finish our bachelor's and then start making 6 figures the next month or anything. So also we don't want it to be like a big pressure
Yeah.
feeling, but we just
And
think yeah.
And so if it's maybe, throughout the year and people can give, maybe the 5 to 10 to 20 to 50 to $100, it doesn't look, it's not as hard as trying to give, a big lump sum of money at
Right.
once. And people can
Yeah.
just, and maybe you could even structure it where, like, if people want to give a monthly donation, that they could just kind of get into some type of, format where they're giving maybe a monthly deposit, there's somehow a direct deposit that they can be linked to, so it's
Yeah.
maybe come out of their account every single month, like
Yeah. It is. We use
Yeah.
Network for Good. And so like right now, of course, the most recent alums are already receiving those messages. So Breezy, we would just have to be kind of strategic about overwhelming them
Yeah.
with, acts. So that's where, while I love the idea, like, scholar, alum giving, things of that nature, Galentine's, women empowerment, but we're always asking for money. I'm gonna be honest with you, because we are sending those messages out. So I just want to make sure that we're not overwhelming those that are on the advisory board that are already receiving these asks. Because like right now, we're getting ready to go. I think, well, we just did just the Valentine's post, and I hope y'all saw that with Scholar Khadija.
It
It was
was so
just
beautiful.
matter of fact, Breezy, if you grab it and we can pull that up, if you didn't see it, it's just, it's just a great tool and piece of information. And it was just her literally talking, where we've had different conversations with her and how she's talked about the foundation. So this is where I think is a good tool and a good way for you to see how we utilize the videos and the information that is shared with us, and it could certainly have an impact. I don't know. I need to see what the reach was for that, but I'm just, for those who love and just the thought of it, I hopefully it was just beautiful to them. But yeah, awesome feedback, Suzette and Cheryl.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And Tamara telling us it's
Exciting.
too low. Thank you, Tamara. No, look, you and
I
Latanya.
think it's
But
exciting. I think
it is.
I feel like so many things make us unique, and I think it would be another really beautiful thing that would help us like just show how much care we all have for each other, to be like, these people, all of us, we're in the same place, and now we're all giving $5 a month, or now we're supporting, this many grants or something. I just think it'd be really powerful.
Yeah, I do. And it is. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Breezy, as you're getting ready to gear up for Scholar support, I actually think I can do public speaking. As it was coming up, I was like, I can do
Oh,
public speaking for our
okay.
scholars
A
because
training. Okay.
yeah, I think I
Awesome.
can.
Thanks.
But I just need to really um I think I can pull that off synchrony. And
Okay. The scholars want it as soon as possible, just so you know.
no, y'all see my face, right?
People need public speaking help stat.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Suzette,
I
the
love
giving
that,
that keeps
Suzette.
giving.
Hey,
And it
Yeah.
does.
only thing that makes you good at public speaking is going and doing it.
I'd say that,
Yeah,
Cheryl. Say that. I agree. But that's the hardest part, because most people are so terrified of being up in front of people. I'm like, just do it. Just do it. You got to. And it's overcoming your fears. But yeah.
yeah, I didn't get comfortable with it until I had to do it with my department every single week. That's
Yeah.
when I got comfortable with it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was comfortable with it prior to coming to our foundation, but one thing I absolutely love about Karen is we have team building, we read books, we do all of these things to really build us, but we have to lead. We take turns, even the interns, they take turn leading our team meeting. And so they get used to navigating and communicating and speaking and all of those things. And I mean, everybody does fine, of course, once you get past your fears. And so once you click on the wrong thing, it's okay. Just click on the right thing, keep rolling. So, hanging cool. All right. Yep. Scholar support.
Okay,
Scholar support.
yeah. So I know here we just have two alums right now besides me and Latrina, but maybe some of you are watching this recording. So I'm looking for special guests for Scholar Support Hours. We had one this evening and it was so amazing. And she just graduated in December. Yes, I highly recommend any current scholars watch it because it was beautiful. Because we focused instead of like I've had other special guest alums come and tell us how they're funding their graduate degree or how they got this like awesome job. She just graduated in December and she was dealing with a lot of illness during during school. And so that's right, Tamara, you did do it and you were so great. I remember that. So she talked tonight more about like personal things like certain like healthy rituals she kept during school, and self-care, and how she created community on a college campus where like everyone was 20 and she was in her 50s. It was so good. I was just like blown away, and the scholars loved it. They had good questions. I mean, it's like a beautiful, I couldn't at first, sometimes as the host, I'm like, how are we going to fill this hour? And it was like, I mean, it was just so beautiful. I was like, oh, it's time to wrap up. So I would just like to make that call. And that's right, Tamara. I'm so sorry. I forgot that you came like a year ago, maybe. And that was wonderful too. So yeah, just if any alums, and I can be flexible with the time. Like if you would come as a guest speaker and you can never do a Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, I could change it. We do the last Sunday of the month, and I could, you know, for 1 week be like, oh, we're going to do it this day at this time because we have this awesome guest coming. And the topics are, you know, vary. Like we've had people, some, you know, we have people come and talk about nursing or social work or business or engineering. You could talk about your field. You could just, or like tonight, you could talk about how college changed you on the inside. We talked tonight about like reframing how we see ourselves and stuff. So the topics are kind of endless. I just think it's fun for everyone to talk with you know, with sisters who like are so understanding of how hard everyone's working and the goals and everything. So that's all. Oh, and the scholars do have some asks. Like Latrina said, public speaking has been one. Um, there have been a couple around, like if any of our alums, for example, or like if any of you are in communications or do anything with communications in your job, there are some asks. I think there's some nervousness around like going into professional environments and having to have like difficult conversations, having to advocate for yourself, things like that. There's been a couple, yeah, there's been a couple asks about that.
You have a list of topics that they're interested in?
I do. Can I send that out also?
Yeah, Breezy,
that
when you send out the meeting, the notes,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead
So
and type that up.
because I mean, if you have a list of topics, then it would be easier. I mean, I don't mind helping with that. I do several mentor type things and development type things.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you, Cheryl.
awesome. Yeah,
Simple things like build, you know, I've done a lot of development helping people with interviews and building a
yes,
resume. You know,
yeah,
I'm with the work that I do, that is a major part. And I interview and I hire managers and all of that stuff.
yeah,
So those would be things that would probably be helpful for our current scholars getting ready to go out into the work field. But if there's topics that they're interested in, it would make it easier for those of us to like, oh, well, what would I talk about? Well, if there's
yeah,
something, oh, I know what that is. I can share about that, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Breezy, see, you got the whole year lined up right here. You know, and I will add that I think it would be helpful, like Cheryl, how you just did, Breezy. I don't know if you were describing that, all of the things that Cheryl just
A little
talked
bit,
about,
yeah.
but I think it would be helpful if you share with us where your, you know, your expertise lies, because maybe even from that we could plug even there, because I'm going to give you, we just got off a call. When I say Breezy, say we had them lined up like airplanes today. They have the calls. We Synchrony is one of our partners, our corporate partners and sponsors that have done the resume writing, review, not writing, reviewing, and work with them. Suzette, we just talked about soft skills, those things like that. Those are truly things that different scholars need at different times. But what we always have done is recorded. So that way, for those who can't attend, we can have this kind of look, this is our resource pool. Now, hey, not only are the alums and the scholars raising money, we now got help videos, how-to videos. I mean, how cool is that? Who else does that? Nobody but Rankin Foundation. So, but again, I think, you know, we operate and flow best. And yeah, we operate best in the areas that we feel we do have expertise in, those areas that we're already working in. So I think it's just it'll almost be a perfect fit, and it can help Breezy probably too to staff them accordingly based off, as we're flowing. What did we say for Synchrony? So Synchrony, just to kind of even give you an idea there, we're in July. So in July, Synchrony about has the whole month locked down. However, outside of that, unless some other dates are there, I think Breezy we can make it work. And like she said, either a Tuesday right now or a Sunday. So letting us know your availability too would be helpful.
Yeah, and honestly, Cheryl, when you just said all the stuff you're good at, like all of that
It's what
is
they
like
want.
any of those things. They've meant like scholars have mentioned all of those things that you said. So if you want to pick one.
Some of those are the scariest things when you're first starting out. I mean, that's what it is. And you feel you're insecure about it. And yeah, so.
Yeah.
Suzette, you on a roll over there. She fired
Yeah,
us.
I like copy and paste these. And yes, Suzette, once you graduate and are an alum, you will definitely be coming to talk, won't you?
Listen, yeah, look.
We don't want to bother you right now.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Cool. Awesome. So, Breezy, is that it? With scholar
Travel. Yeah,
support.
yeah, just travel.
So, we did talk about this, of course, we threw it out there how we could hopefully get together. And, we originally were shooting for next month, which that we figured out that would just be too much to combine it with the board retreat for the ranking board members. But this is where I wanted to get really get your feedback, because we said summer, but summer may not be good. I was thinking, and I'm gonna tell you where I landed on summer months is because I was thinking about the current scholars. So if you're not in school, and I do know some of the current, do you take classes, Suzette, Margaret? Do you take classes in the summer?
Yeah, I normally do, but I may have to sit out this summer. I'm still trying to work through because I got a lot of debt that I need to pay.
Okay.
But I may go to a JC. I'm not exactly sure yet, so still
Okay.
working through it.
Okay.
I
Margaret.
should be graduating in May, and then I got into the math class Breezy.
Yay!
Oh,
then
good.
yes, we wrote, and they finally got it done.
Nice.
And so
Wonderful.
then I roll into my MBA program at the Citadel, but that's remote and
Okay.
easy to schedule during the summer.
Okay.
No,
So
no scheduled classes.
um I say June. And the only reason I don't want to say I cringe in July, but I know a lot of people will normally travel for, the 4th or whatever. And, as you get into later in the summer, and what we're thinking, so just kind of give you an idea, we're thinking at least a 2-day. So whereas we would be together, on a Friday and a Saturday, and then, you could travel back, of course, on that Sunday, or unless you're close, you could leave right out. Okay, do you know when, Suzette? Yeah, and so put that in there. So if you already have some I don't say conflicts or dates that are on the calendar, that's what we want to know, because I don't want to try and put dates out there and then there are already multiple conflicts. I do understand everybody may not be able to travel. And just so you know, since we talked about this, something else that's in the works, and we're hoping, and if you know of anybody that has it to offer, we're trying to work with our board of directors to see if they can donate Sky Miles. So that way your travel, for those that are having to travel, that's not a cost you're having to pick up. And because we don't have no funds yet, we don't have funds in the bank to make that happen. But again, here, just know we have some things like that in the works that we're truly trying to, factor in that can make that cost really be little to none, hopefully, for us to come together. So again, a Friday and a Saturday is ideally what we're looking at, so like I said, be kind of still be like a 3-day, because then if you're having to travel back on a Sunday. So yeah, I know we mentioned Georgia. We can certainly make that happen. It's hot, 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 because we're in the summer months. But I think everywhere is hot, hot, hot in June and July. But again, June is, like I said, I'm leaning more toward June, rather than July. But again, if we can't in July, yeah. So just so you know, we do need to make a decision. I think we would need to go ahead and make a decision on some dates. But I think where we're still kind of going to run into, I don't want to say a challenge, but not having the details yet with the number of sky miles that we can get to make sure we can get everybody in. So that may be the only thing that, if we haven't gotten that fully sorted out, what that would be, for individuals being able to travel in. So and I do think price wise, Georgia may be a little cheaper than going to some of the other places that we that we mentioned. So yeah. Yeah. So just know they're in the works.
Yeah, we're working on it.
We're in the background still doing those things, and just wanted to make sure we kept y'all in the loop. And again, provide us feedback as you're moving forward. If you have some connections with somebody who got buddy passes, it don't even matter however we can make it happen, to, get this done, and of course get it done economically, for everyone, and it not be a hole in our pockets to make it happen. So cool. Any other thoughts? Any other suggestions? Any other comments? As they say, parting words before we adjourn.
This would be like the Atlanta area more than likely. Is that what it was? I remember.
Well, I think so. But because I still want to get everybody to the office, it may not be, because it may be cheaper, to be honest with you, to be in Athens than Atlanta. But these are all still logistics that we would need to work out, because if we're going to be in Athens, that means we're still got to be, transported to get from Atlanta into Athens. So it may just make sense to stay in the Atlanta area. And I mean, like Cheryl was with us the last time, we rented like vans and chartered everybody. So we can see, but of course that's cost. That's just pumping the cost up even more. So these are all logistics that we're trying to work out, Suzette. We're gonna make it work. So yeah. Cool. Yeah, great question. Any other questions or about that, or anything else? Any other ideas or thoughts on your mind that we need to put in the pot, since the pot is brewing now, honey. We on a roll.
Well, I just got back last night from Arizona. I was at a conference at my school, Arizona State in Tempe. And they put me up in their artist studio. So they had a separate home. Then the husband collects all this beautiful African art. And so that's where they put me up. So I stayed there from Wednesday or Thursday until till yesterday when I returned. So so I wasn't in a hotel. They put me up in a separate house that they had and they use as a
I mean,
yeah.
Breezy knows we got some good friends of the
We do.
foundation that
Yeah.
we certainly can, I think, maybe come out with not having to have that happen. But of course, that's where we got to go ahead and set on a date and make sure we know how many truly are traveling, to ensure, because Breezy, Madeline's, how many did Madeline's home accommodate?
Well, there three or four there were four of us that stayed
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
That place is amazing. It's
it
so
is.
beautiful.
So and Jeannie, I think, is hosting coming up. So it's definitely
Yeah.
several, places that we have that are really good friends of Rankin, that I think we could make it work and not have to fork out that cost for hotel stays. So just know there are other options, but again, just making sure we get the dates lined up, and making sure they're good and are available, or their homes are available to accommodate the scholars, the alums, and all of that good stuff. So exciting stuff happening coming down the pipeline, and we just need to push it forward a little bit more and get these get dates set and make sure we have accommodations all the way
We need
around.
a shower in the office.
Right. I mean, and because hey, I got a whole sofa. I think it's a pull out. It's a sofa in my office, like literally. So, sometimes
sat
it's
on it.
take me a nap. But when the day get too bad, I was like, okay, I'm over it. I need a nap. No, I'm just playing. Karen will come in and be like, for real, Latrina? But she's not in Georgia, so don't tell her. So yeah, we'll get it done, and I hope everybody that is on now with us and those that will watch the recording will be able to come over. I just remember us being together, Cheryl, back at the 35th anniversary. I mean, it was like 40 of us. It was just beautiful.
It was
Yeah,
Wow.
it was
you
really
know, yeah, we had scholars and some of their kids that were able to travel with them. And likewise, what we did then, we were able, now Delta had actually just given us like a lot of, the flyer miles and all of that stuff to bus everybody in because they had did like a partnership with them or sponsorship. So, and who knows, that still may happen as well. So yeah, it's just a matter of putting these asks out and us going through the logistics and getting it pinned down. But it's going to be great either way. So, and we're going to have big fun, as my son used to say, in person.
Awesome. Yeah, that would be so great. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us. I will get all this stuff compiled and sent tomorrow. And not tonight, but tomorrow.
So, yes, thanks everyone for joining us. And again, keep the lines of communication open, rolling, and going because we're on a move.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Great evening.
Bye.